And we also have the man of the moment who is with us, Marcelino V, Cape Town born singer and chart topper from growing up in a musical family to hitting number one with his debut single Lights Out. And he's now back with a brand new release titled Closer Tonight. Marcelino, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here, and to all the South Coast radio listeners, thanks for tuning in.
Awesome. So, Marcelino, let's start at the beginning. You grew up in a very musical family. Your dad, Billy, was the lead singer and guitarist of Bloodshed and Funtime. What was it like being surrounded by music from such a young age?
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. I think when it comes to music, you automatically gel to the situation and the vibe, and music is just something else. Because myself and my siblings grew up in music, all three of us are singers. However, I was the one to decide to take it a bit further, take it a step further. Absolutely fantastic, always on the road, touring South Africa at a very young age. So blessed in many ways.
Awesome. You must have had some great memories from those days touring with your dad. Any moment that really stands out for you?
Yeah, I think the moment that I treasure, apart from being with the family and on the road, etc., is spending time with the people that I didn't know at the time, purely because I was too young. But the likes of Little Ricardo and friends, the guy that sang "I Love You, Daddy,"
Yeah.
Ron Joyce, all gentlemen. I was traveling with him, not knowing who they were. Spending hours and weeks time with these gentlemen until I've realized who these gentlemen are, and just got myself very lucky as well to have spent time with all these musicians. So music was definitely in the blood by then.
Great stuff. So you've come a long way since then, from working with D-Lo as a backing vocalist to performing with your group, A Team, who actually won Song of the Year on Heart FM in 2022 for the song Remember When. How did that success shape your journey as an artist?
Yeah, I think that was a huge motivating factor as well for the song to have blown up the way it did. All props goes to King RSA, who wrote and produced the song. Extremely talented young man. I only realized on the day when they did the countdown, I think it was the last day of the year, and someone turned on the radio and said, "Hey, shouldn't you guys be in the top 10 at least? What are you talking about?" And then I realized that our song was at number one for 8 weeks consecutively on the radio during the course of the year. And then when I heard that the song was Song of the Year, it was just a different type of feeling that you don't come across every now and then. So that definitely motivates you to write more, make more music. Absolutely fantastic feeling, sir.
Awesome. Then, of course, came your solo success with Lights Out, hitting number one on both the Top 40 and SA Top 10 charts. That must have been an incredible feeling.
Yeah, I think Lights Out was kind of the next song after Remember Now. However, to go solo on this because, I love football, and I realized that I'm going to Bafana team a couple of years ago. I thought, let me go solo. And then we came up with Lights Out, and to my surprise, or to, not surprise, but the people really loved the Lights Out. Cape Town and South Africa was behind the and the song hit on the charts in the same week, and that was an absolutely amazing feeling, something I'll never forget.
Great stuff. So now let's talk about your latest release, Closer Tonight. So tell us about the inspiration behind the song. What's the story behind it?
Yeah, so Closer Tonight is kind of different in a lot of ways, and the way I usually explain, or where the motivation came from, is weird because a lot of people find it weird when I say that I'm a shy guy, a Virgo, and Closer Tonight was written is that, you know what, if a guy likes a girl and he's too shy to confront her, I think Closer Tonight is a perfect icebreaker. If you know you're going to the same place tonight, you might meet up with her at a party, send her the song Closer Tonight, and I think the words or the lyrics will kind of explain how the gentleman feels and where he'd like things to go. So it's a very playful song, similar to Lights Out, and that is just something that King RSA is straddled with. The gentleman is very creative, so we sat together with this one and absolutely enjoyed it.
Awesome. So you were sitting on the track for about 10 months before releasing it. What finally made you say, okay, it's time?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually not sure. It just didn't feel right. When your gut tells you just to hang on. And then eventually I had to override my gut and telling me, hey, but the song has been sitting too long, And I eventually released it after 10 months. Maybe I should have done it sooner, however. I just recorded another song a couple of weeks ago, which should be released very soon, definitely before the end of October, and then hopefully add another one before the end of December. So I'm just kind of enjoying the whole recording process and just having fun.
Great stuff. So you also teamed up again with King RSA, who you worked with on Lights Out. What makes your collaboration click so well?
Yeah, so King RSA is actually a very close friend of mine's son. So I know him since he was born. It's crazy. And one day we were sitting on the beach in Fish Hoek. I think he was about 5 years old, sitting with this massive T-bone steak. And I said to him, what are you doing eating this big piece of meat? You're too young. And his response was, don't worry about the meat. One day I'm going to be singing with you and my daddy when I'm big. And, we laughed at him. And years later, he comes up with a gem called Remember When. And that is just proof that since a very young age, he was interested in music. I think he used to sit on YouTube from the age of 11, 12, just like processing how this whole system works. And today, if you ask him to write you a song, he could do it in one day, in no time. Very talented young man, only 24 years of age. He's definitely going places, definitely.
Awesome. And shout outs to the whole creative team, John Mark Mayer for guidance, Hayden, the producer for mastering, and Gershwin for supporting artists. So what was it like working with that team on this project?
When you watch, and I know this is going to sound weird, but if you watch the Grammys and all these things, they always mention people, and I always wanted to feel or to be part of an experience like that, because usually when you kind of start out, you just get one guy to assist you, but this time around, I literally had a whole team with me. We had Jean-Marc, we had Hayden, and the main guy, Gershwin. What a gentleman, we all know him. Always there to support local artists, And the weirdest thing is, whenever I speak about Gershwin to people, one thing we have in common, we've never met Gershwin in person, and I know him for years already. So I want to make sure that I hook up with this guy before the end of 2025, even if it's just for a cup of coffee. But it feels like we are much closer, and I'm sure all artists agree with me.
Definitely, I'm sure they will. And so you also gave a special shout out to your wife, Fresley, and your 3 kids. How important has your family support been in your musical journey?
Yeah, it's very important, to have a solid foundation. People try and do things when they're young, when they don't have commitments. But you know what? Life happens. And sometimes you just need to work around with what you have. And I've been very blessed to have had the support of my family. Sometimes I act corny, sometimes I act crazy, but they're always there to support no matter what. So very lucky in that sense.
Indeed. And you also live by this phrase, which is music is life. What does that mean to you today?
Yeah, in so many cases, whether people are happy, whether they are sad, they turn to music. And music automatically just gives you that kind of feel. make things better in general. You know, we have the option of listening to different types of music, and there's different genres for all of us, which is perfect. And for someone who can carry a note, who's able to sing, I mean, I know so many people that would love to sing, but they just not able to, or not singers, you know. And for us who can sing, our duty is to make music and to be creative and do the best we can for them. So just in general, music is life. Who goes without music? I'm sure there's people that don't go a day without listening to music.
True. That's correct. And you hinted at another single or two coming before year end. Any little teaser you can share with us at the moment?
Yeah, look, the title of the song is Let's Get It. So I try and come up with something different every time. I don't want to sound too monotonous. I know you're supposed to find your sound and give it to the people so that they can kind of identify. However, I'm taking a risk here where this song will be different to Closer to Night. Closer to Night is different to the song I created last year called Marry You, and so on and so on. So it's about people, it's about your crew, you know, it's about keeping your circle close, and just showing or saying that, you know, you're always there for one another. And I think when you grow up, you realize that people always say my circle is getting smaller and smaller. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just keeping the right ones closer to you.
Great stuff. So we can't wait to hear the new single coming out. Before we wrap up, where can listeners find Closer to Night and follow your music online?
Yeah, so you can find me on all digital platforms as Marcelino V, Spotify, Apple Music, any digital platforms. On Facebook, I go as Marcelino _V, as well as Instagram. Or you can catch me on TikTok as Marcelino.v1. I go live every now and then on TikTok and interact, and we do some music if people just want to tune in from the comfort of their own homes. So, yeah.
Fantastic, Marcelino V. Thank you so much for joining us today. And to everyone, make sure you check out Closer to Night, available now on all major platforms. So we're going to be heading into that song Closer to Night. So here it is. Enjoy the vibe, turn it up, enjoy, and I'll see you in a moment. Cheers.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.